Shabbat Shalom, and happy Independence Day weekend. Welcome to Temple Kolomi and Patriotic Shabbat. Throughout our service, we will have stories and quotes from famous Americans who have made impacts on our lives. And if you need the exit, they are there, and there. And if you need the lavatories or bathrooms, they are to the right of the mosaic in the lobby. And if you have any questions, we have a fabulous team of ushers with Gary and Barb this Shabbat. We started with a piyut, Dror Yikra, or a zemer, or a Shabbat song. And its words are taken from Leviticus 25:10. And in 1751, the Speaker of the Pennsylvania Assembly liked the words so much that he ordered a new bell for the State House, and he added this verse: to proclaim liberty throughout the land to all the inhabitants thereof, forever known as the Liberty Bell. And so we sing the words of liberty and of Shabbat together on your handout. Dror Yikra. Dror Yikra Levedim Bad, Ve'yin Sarchem Kemo Vavad, Neim Shimchem Elo Yushpat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat. Dror Yikra Levedim Bad, Ve'yin Sarchem Kemo Shabbat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat, Shemor Shabbat Kodshecha, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat. Shemor Shabbat Kodshecha, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat. Dror Yikra Levedim Bad, Ve'yin Sarchem Kemo Vavad, Neim Shimchem Elo Yushpat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat, Shemor Shabbat Kodshecha, Shevu Venuchu Beyom Shabbat. We continue with welcoming Shabbat in with our candle lighting on page 2, and it is my pleasure to welcome Sandra Davidson McVitie and Kirk McVitie to help us light candles.
And by the way, you'll be amazed at how small the Liberty Bell is.
Yes. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hails us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. We continue responsively on page 9. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. And we welcome our Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi on page 20. We're going to be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Shabbat angels on page 24. These angels of peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Neshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei on page 26 with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadesh shmei Rabbah ve'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei ve'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael bagala bagala u'vizman kariv ve'imru amen Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'an lamu lamei amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Please rise for the Baruch Hu on page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We have now come to our first Jewish American. It's my pleasure to call up Michelle.
Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was born in Ulm, Germany in 1879. In 1933, he left Germany because of Hitler's rise to power and taught at Princeton and became a U.S. citizen in 1940. Albert Einstein is one of the most influential physicists in the 20th century. In 1905, dubbed the Miracle Year, Einstein published 4 landmark papers in physics. On the photoelectric effect, Brownian motion, the special theory of relativity, and the equivalence of matter and energy, which we know as E equals mc squared. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1923. After World War II, Einstein was a leading figure in the world government movement. He was offered the presidency of the State of Israel, which he declined, but helped to establish the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Later in Einstein's life, his scientific explorations reflected his religious thinking, particularly in his quest for a united field theory, trying to understand how we are all connected in the universe. Einstein wrote in his book, Ideas and Opinions, "The most beautiful emotion we can experience is the mystical. It is the power of all true art and science. The person to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. To know what is impenetrable to us really exists, manifesting itself as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our dull faculties can comprehend only in their most primitive forms. This knowledge, this feeling, is at the center of true religiosity. In this sense, and in this alone, I am a deeply religious man."
Thank you so much. We read together on page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv, Aravim. If it is your custom to stand for the Shema, I ask that you rise now. If you would like to remain seated, that's okay too. Both are kosher, as they would say. Ahavat Olam is page 32. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochteinu, uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'bahem negei yomam b'layla, negei yomam b'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha uvchol nafshecha uvchol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzabecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha, lema'an tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiyot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Amen. We read together on page 41. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. So we changed the tune for Mi Chamocha depending on the season, so on this 4th of July weekend. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar, nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei felem, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar, nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei felem, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. It's my pleasure to call up Alan Gale for our next Jewish American. And you might guess who it is.
With a life that spanned more than 100 years and a catalog that boasted over 1,000 songs, Irving Berlin epitomized Jerome Kern's famous maxim that Irving Berlin has no place in American music. He is American music. In a class by itself is his iconic paean to his beloved country, God Bless America. Irving Berlin was born Israel Balin on May 11, 1888, one of 8 children, and they immigrated to New York in 1893. When his father died, Berlin, just 13, took to the streets in various jobs, working as a busker singing for pennies, then as a singing waiter in a Chinatown cafe. In 1907, he published his first song, Marie from Sunny Italy. And by 1911, he had his first major international hit, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Over the next 5 decades, Irving Berlin produced an outpouring of ballads, dance numbers, novelty tunes, and love songs that defined American popular music for much of the century. Berlin received numerous honors, including an Academy Award, a Grammy Award, and a Tony Award. He also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Gerald R. Ford in 1977. It's not a patriotic song, composer Irving Berlin said in a 1940 interview, but an expression of gratitude for what this country has done for its citizens, of what home really means.
We continue with our prayer for Shabbat, Vishamru, on page 44. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael, oti shvi'i, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise for our Amidah on page 46. Adonai sifatei tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Achar, Micha Mocha Baal Geburot, Umido Melech, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukroshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We turn to page 56 in our prayer books, and tonight begins Rosh Chodesh Tammuz, the second saddest month, they say, in the Hebrew calendar, but we're still happy because it's Rosh Chodesh, so there's that. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants, pour out your Spirit upon us. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers, on this first day of the month of Tammuz, be mindful of us and your people Israel, for good, for love, for compassion, life, and peace. Remember us for well-being. Amen. Visit us with blessing. Help us to a fuller life. Amen. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato letzion. It is my pleasure to call up Donna Weingarten with our next American.
Elie Wiesel, a Holocaust survivor, a world-renowned author and champion of human rights. His first book, Night, recounts his suffering as a teenager at Auschwitz and has become a classic of Holocaust literature. In 1986, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Wiesel was born on September 30, 1928, Transylvania. In 1944, he and his family were deported to Auschwitz. Only he and two of his three sisters survived the Holocaust. After World War II, Wiesel became a journalist, prolific author, writing 40 books. He was a professor at City University in New York, Boston University, and Yale, and a human rights activist. Wiesel advocated tirelessly for remembering about and learning from the Holocaust. In 1978, President Carter named Wiesel to chair the President's Commission on the Holocaust, which recommended the creation of a National Day of Remembrance and the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, which were later created by acts of Congress. His own experience of genocide drove him to speak out on behalf of oppressed people throughout the world. The Nobel Committee awarded him the Peace Prize for being a messenger to mankind. His message is one of peace, atonement, and dignity. In Elie Wiesel's novel, Nobel Lecture, he said, "There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protest. The Talmud tells us that by saving a single human being, man can save the world. We may be powerless to open all the jails and free all the prisoners, but by declaring our solidarity with one prisoner, we indict all jailers. Mankind needs peace more than ever. For our entire planet, threatened by nuclear war, is in danger of total destruction. A destruction only man can provoke, and only man can prevent. Mankind must remember that peace is not God's gift to his creatures. It is our gift to each other."
With Elie Wiesel's words in our minds, we think of peace. We sing our prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, on page 60. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon, peace in Israel, with our prayer for peace on our handouts. We read together, Bridge to Peace. Eternal One of all, we come to you as seekers and builders. Open our hearts and mind as wide as canyons as we struggle to understand different paths from our own. Teach us to welcome the other with softness and welcoming embraces. Creator of the universes, teach us to destroy walls of fear and animosity. Help us to rebuild them with bridges of wholeness and peace. It's my pleasure to welcome Debbie LaCours for our last Jewish American, someone who opened paths for many people.
As a Jewish American writer and activist, Emma Lazarus has been widely recognized for her work. She was born on July 22nd, 1849, in New York City. The fourth of 7 children, Lazarus was born to a wealthy Sephardic Jewish family of Portuguese descent. She began writing and translating poetry as a teenager and was publishing translations of German poems by the 1860s. Lazarus used her poems and essays to speak out against the persecution of Jews in Europe and growing anti-Semitism in the United States. She publicly proclaimed her identity as a Jewish poet and advocated for Jewish issues internationally and promoted Zionism. In addition to her writing, she also met with immigrants and refugees, volunteered at the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, and helped establish the Hebrew Technical Institute in New York to provide Jewish immigrants with vocational training. The New Colossus, written in 1883, is perhaps Lazarus's most enduring legacy. These iconic words, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free," became a powerful symbol of America's open arms towards immigrants and resonated with people around the world. The poem was inscribed 16 years after her death on a bronze plaque at the base of the Statue of Liberty, cementing Lazarus's place in history as the voice of compassion and inclusivity. She also said, "Until we are all free, none of us are free. And I see my duty clearly. It is to speak out on behalf of those who suffer, to draw attention to those who are oppressed, and to advocate for change."
We say a prayer for our country together on page 258 in your prayer books. At the very bottom of the page. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wholeness of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals, and grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect and serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. We move to a moment of wholeness of our country, to a moment of wholeness, of healing of mind, body, and spirit. And we are pray for those who are in need of healing, Annie and Steve Bloom, Linda Bloom, Joe Crane, Carol DeVore, Tracy Ford, Ellen Heckler, Joanna Kitchell, Molly, Carol Rabinowitz, Sue Rollinger, Mickey Rosner, Lauren Shevitz, Fran Wygod, Mark Wilner, Gloria Zytak, Dan Zimmerman, and Judy Zimmerman. We are also thinking of Leah Bat Sima, Michal Bat Leah, Liba Elka Bat Shia, Michael Golub, Brad Hummel, Harriet Stone, Benjamin Shimon Gittel, Rosalind Meyer, Yehoshua Naftali Ben Chana, Ehud Ben Gila, Rivka Bat Ita, Yosef Ben Ita, Yitzhak Ben Ita, Eliyahu Ben Fruman Ruchel, Cindy Victor, who's here, so send her all your love tonight. Michal Aharona Bat Dina Fega, Steve Harrison, Naomi Chava Bat Ma'ayan, Andy Bider, Marlene Margolis, Mark Siegel, Julie Solomon, Margaret Leduc, Razel Bat Yehudis, Eliyahu Ben Furman Ruchel, Harav Yisrael, Hirsch Ben Yafa, David Ben Sapura, Cholea Ben Rachel Leah, Robin Price, Mark Schuster, Clint Willis, Zissel Kala Bat Perliba, Tzvi Ben Chana, Aharon Yinkel Ben Esther, Bracha Bat Chaya Sarah, Michael Ben Tzvi Halevi, Shana Fagel Bat Basha. And any names to add or correct? So we take all of those into our hearts to send out that strength and that healing. And don't forget to take just a little bit for yourself as we sing Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, on page 253. Silently. shore still with sand in our shoes. Homeward bound, survivors in spirit with nothing to lose. We have found a land, a life, children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes, living the hope of American dreams. We rejoice, we honor the struggle of our history. Hear our voice, our prayer, our song. Children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes. We look back on Sinai to the roots of our tree. We look back on Philly and the branches we see are fruited with olives but yield apple pie. A harvest of peace set on tables of pride. Children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes. We rise for our closing prayers with Aleinu on page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gidula l'yotzei bereshit, shelo asanu kibelei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'go'ur aleinu kechol ha'onam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Please be seated. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full, but night follows day. The candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. we move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. This week, we mourn the losses in the last 30 days for our members and victims of violence here and all around the world. We're remembering Kermit Prill and the Honorable Gerald Friedman. We remember on the yard sites this week Myrna Gelsey, Samuel Goodman, Irma Hartman, Benjamin Hoffman, Benjamin Genauer, Dr. Henry Kane, Carolyn Hirsch, Lila Cole, Morton Bernard Lesser, Luba Leventhal, Norman Little, Arthur Magidson, and Dolly Mendelson, Charlotte Merritt, Tova Malinsky, Harry Peven, Goldie Pryweller, Alex Rubin, Helen Rubin, Jeanette Schoen, Norma Shribman, Oscar Silverman, Sarah Willens, and Dr. Robert Wolf. We are also remembering Milton Schloss and any names we would like to remember this week. And so we say of them all, Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, as we rise from Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, V'chayechon u'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mebarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei d'Kedusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say Amen. Please be seated. Announcements tonight are brought to you by Second Vice President, First Vice President, Second Vice President. Second Vice President. I was right the first time. Ha! Second Vice President, Bill Goldenberg. I should know myself. I was right the first time.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all our friends from B'nai Israel. Welcome to our guests this evening. It's been a wonderful service. Thank you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you to our readers. Thank you to Gary and Barb ushering, and to Sarah and our stream team. I have just a couple of announcements tonight. The next meeting of our current events group will be Tuesday, July 16th at 3:30. And please save the date for Pet Shabbat, which will be July 19th here at 7 p.m. And during this service, we will bless the animals in our congregation's families. Please bring your animal either on a leash or in a crate. We will hold the service outside. That's a good idea. Or in the social hall, weather permitting, outside. To support our pet pantry, please bring a donation of dry pet food to the service. On Sunday, July 21st at 11 a.m., join us at Beth Am Synagogue as we get a tour of the Biblical Garden by Rabbi Steve Rubenstein and learn all about the plants that are growing there and those that are mentioned in the Torah. If you have any questions about any of these events or to RSVP, please contact the temple office. Have a wonderful Shabbat and a nice weekend.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to call up Barry Rudnick and his partner in crime, Donna Weingarten, to help us with Kiddush and Motzi on page 5. Please rise. We lift the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon Inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziad Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol Shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon. Our closing song is how we began, proclaiming liberty throughout the land. Deror Yikra. Deror Yikra leveini man, ve'yin shorchem kemavavat, ne'im shimchem elo yushpat, shevu v'nuchu be'yom Shabbat, shevu v'nuchu be'yom Shabbat, shevu v'nuchu be'yom Shabbat, shemor Shabbat kodshecha, shevu v'nuchu be'yom Shabbat, deror yikra leveini man, ve'yin sarchem kemavavat, ne'im shimchem ve'lo yushpat, shevu v'nuchu be'yom Shabbat. May our Shabbat be filled with liberty and freedom for all. And please join us for dinner in the social hall. Shabbat Shalom. Carolyn Kirsch. Okay, I might have said Caroline accidentally. Carolyn, okay. Yeah.